The first elections in the Congress party in 22 years are just 4 days away, and ahead of that, candidate Tharoor has raised issues with the way things are going. He's saying the system is flawed and the rules of the game are not being followed. Mr. Tharoor is saying that several senior party leaders have come out in open support for Mr. Kharge, something that is against the rules. Mr. Kharge, on the other hand, has said that his popularity is drawing support. How is this his fault? Before we get you the debate, the sound bites.
देखे होंगे कि प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के अध्यक्ष, सीएलपी नेता, बड़े बड़े नेता कि खड़गे साहब को स्वीकार करते हैं, स्वागत करते हैं, बिठाते हैं, उनके साथ बैठते हैं, लोगों को बुलाते हैं मीटिंग्स के लिए, पीसीसी से निर्देश जाते हैं कि आ जाओ, खड़गे साहब आ रहे हैं। इस किस्म की चीज़ें कई पीसीसी में हुए हैं और नेचुरली सिर्फ एक ही उम्मीदवार के लिए हुआ और मेरे लिए तो कभी नहीं था।
मैं भी किसी को नहीं कहा कि ओनली माई कैंपेनर्स आर डूइंग। जब मेरे काम दे रिजाइन फ्रॉम देयर पोस्ट एंड दे आर कैंपेनिंग एंड व्हाट रेस्पॉन्स आई एम गेटिंग फ्रॉम द स्टेट्स दे देमसेल्व्स आर कॉलिंग, शुड आई से दैट यू डोंट कम, यू डोंट कैनवास, see, and ultimately all delegates decided I should contest. All means whoever met me, telephoned me, they asked me to contest. I am their candidate, so they are coming to me.
Let me go straight across to our guests who are joining us this evening. I'm going to introduce them to you. Lokesh Jindal is a Congress leader. He is joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Tom Vadakkan used to be with the Congress party, now is spokesperson of the BJP. With us on the broadcast as well, Ashutosh is a political analyst. All of you know him well. You also know Neeraja Chaudhary very well. So thank you all four of you for joining us this evening. Mr. Lokesh Jindal, can I start by asking you what's going on as far as the elections are going? They are just 4 days away and one controversy after another is tumbling out. Now, what Mr. Tharoor is saying is perfectly reasonable. He's saying that before the elections, as the elections were announced, there were certain ground rules that were laid out that no senior leaders / PCC chiefs, etc. can come out in support of any particular candidate. In this case, he says, all the support openly is going to Mr. Kharge. When I'm going to meet people and PCC chiefs, etc., no one is willing to meet me. So it's very clear this is an uneven playing field, quote and unquote. These are his words, not mine.
Good evening. So just a few days ago, some few TV channels, they were stating that the manner in which this election is taking
this is completely a farce. I mean, they are not serious candidates, they are only puppet candidates. But now we see that both the contenders are indeed very serious about this election. They are campaigning hard, they are reaching out to congressmen, and there is a serious effort that is seen from both the ends. So I would say that this is an indication that the election process is very much in tune with the reforms that are taking place. Madam Gandhi had clearly stated that the Gandhi family shall not be supporting any candidate, and it is at the individual discretion of those who are contesting the elections to reach out to the congressmen, to the workers, to the leaders, karyakartas, and aim at reaching out and getting their support. So I would say over here that as Mistry Saab had already pointed out, that he is the chief election authority, he has pointed out that Sonia Gandhi ji has clearly stated that there won't be any form of a recommendation or support given to one candidate by the family, and it shall be completely fair, transparent, and it is acting in that particular manner. So I do not see it as any form of a controversy. I would see it, I see it as a healthy process that is taking shape.
Mr. Vadakkan, the Congress is saying, and you've been part of the party as well, which is why I ask you this question, that this is healthy inner party democracy that is underway, where you have two candidates in a pitched fight for a post you all thought was reserved for the Gandhis. So it's not reserved for the Gandhis this time. There is a proper election playing out. And yes, Mr. Shashi Tharoor may have his complaints, but this really is this really is democracy at work in the Congress party. And the BJP in any case has no right to complain, they say, or even make a comment, given that we don't know, and this is not what Mr. Jindal has said, but most, spokespersons of the Congress who come to our show say this, that who is the BJP to say anything about what is happening in the Congress, given the fact that the BJP itself never has any elections. God knows how the BJP president is elected in the first place. Anyhow, go ahead, Mr. Vadakkan. Good evening. Good to see you.
I will start with a caveat. Look, I belong to the Bharatiya Janata Party and I'm the spokesman of the party. And I would start off with a caveat, and that is I am the spokesman of the Bharatiya Janata Party and I reserve my judgment officially. But now that this has come out in public, the gloves are out. This was waiting to happen. In fact, I'm surprised that Shashi Tharoor was not aware of this development. He is not the chosen one.
Mr. Vadakkan, I have a request to make of you. Mr. Vadakkan, I have a request to make of you. I think the volume of your television set is on. Could you reduce that or mute your television set? We'll be able to hear you better once you do that.
Yeah, I've done it, but because there was some communication problem with my Skype. Anyway, the issue here is, as I said, I'm a spokesman for the Bharatiya Janata Party, and these are internal matters of another political party. However, now that it is in public domain, the gloves are out. The reality is, they're trying to showcase democracy. You see, democracy is not showcase. This is not some shopping expedition that all parties will look at the Congress party and take their lessons from it. No. This is basically a selection. Mr. Kharge has been selected. Telephone calls are ringing across the PCC offices. I'm informed that while Mr. Shashi Tharoor comes in from the back door, the PCC president walks out because he's under instruction that he will have no communication with him. And Mr. Shashi Tharoor is fighting a losing battle. But yes, they are showcasing democracy as they think democracy works. Good luck to them. People of India are not buying that anymore.
Okay, Ashutosh, I agree with Mr. Tom Vadakkan on one point. He says Mr. Shashi Tharoor is fighting a losing battle. But Mr. Tharoor does have a right to complain. What he's saying is this. Look, fact is that when the elections were announced, the Gandhi said they will maintain neutrality, quote unquote. And then there is this whole thing that happens and Mr. Kharge gets picked. Now, Mr. Kharge was picked by the Gandhis. That is an open secret which the Congress doesn't want to accept, which is why you are seeing the sort of support you're seeing for Mr. Kharge, open support in violation of rules for Mr. Kharge, while Mr. Shashi Tharoor was once told to, at least Rahul Gandhi was told to convince Mr. Tharoor to withdraw his candidature. And secondly, he's saying, even when I wanted to go to Uttar Pradesh, I was told, don't go, there'll be a clash with Mr. Kharge's supporters. What do you make of the complaint that Mr. Tharoor has raised in his press conference today, though he's saying he's not complaining?
No, that's what democracy is all about. Democracy means factionalism. Democracy means lobbying. Democracy means clash of ideas. Democracy means a clash of interest. Democracy means a race to capture power. So I can understand that whatever is going on in the Congress party, I think it should be understood within that spirit of the constitution, within the spirit of the democracy. You just have seen what happened in England, what the Liz Truss and the Shanukya Beach, whatever has happened, the whole world knew. So if Kharge and Tharoor, they are competing for the one post, obviously they will have something to offer. They will have something to say. There will be difference of opinions, and there will be attempts to paint others in black. So I'm not surprised by this. I'm really surprised by why other political parties are not indulging into this democratic farce. Within quote, the farce. I think at least Congress party has something to say that there is a democracy in the party. At least they are having elections. At least they are the candidates to contest election. But there are political parties since their inception. There had not been even one single election per se. Not one single election. Forget about the farce election also. So you remember how the Sonia Gandhi was elected. Sonia Gandhi again contested election, and Jitin Prasad was there. Sitaram Kesri, when he contested election, there was Sharad Pawar and others who fought against him. When Narasimha Rao was to be elected as a prime minister, there was Sharad Pawar and Arjun Singh. When after Jawaharlal Nehru's death, there were Morarji Desai and Lal Bahadur Shastri. And after Lal Bahadur Shastri, there was a fight between Indira Gandhi and Morarji Desai. So what's wrong in it? I don't see anything wrong in this. That's what democracy is all about.
Mr. Vadakkan, what Ashutosh is saying is that we'd like to see, quote unquote, this farce democracy in other parties as well. And his insinuation is to the BJP, amongst other parties. For example,
Ashutosh,
we can always argue that we don't even know who elects the BJP president. How they get elected? Do they get elected? Do they get selected? While there's this whole elected and selected debate happening about the Congress party, in the BJP we don't even know. So we can't even debate.
Well, we work on a merit basis, performance basis. If the president delivers, he gets an extension. These are processes that have been with the Bharatiya Janata Party. But now the discussion is not about the BJP. Mr. Ashutosh should be informed of certain things, which I think he is not aware. In the press conference today, a few days back, Shashi Tharoor said, look, I have the names of the delegates. I don't have their telephone numbers. I don't have their addresses. My God, if you do not have the voter's address, what kind of, farce is not a word. It's a mild word to say. Poor guy doesn't have telephone numbers. He has no contact numbers. And when he goes, the PCC presidents run away for their life. There is a telephone line connecting with the general secretary, who is eternally on the line 24/7, telling them, look, no contact with him. It is Kharge who is the selected one. So that is happening. And if you want that to happen in other parties, Ashutosh, have a heart. This is not how democracy works. I am very proud of the fact that you have been always very independent and fiercely independent. But here, I think your democracy is going a little too far, because I think Mr. Shashi Tharoor deserves at least the telephone numbers where he can contact the delegates. And if he doesn't have the telephone numbers, I'm sorry, Ashutosh, what kind of election is this?
Shreya, I can only say
Ashutosh,
this.
Go ahead.
Shashi Tharoor and his team has not done the homework. I have contested elections, so I know how much hard work it needs. You have to, nobody gives you the telephone numbers of your voters. You have to go and get it. You have to find your voters. You have to find delegates. You have to find addresses. The problem with the Tom Vadakkan is that he has lived too long in the Congress party, so he understands what he's saying. But unfortunately, he's in the BJP, where no election has happened till this date. And you rightly asked the question that how Amit Shah was chosen as a party president, nobody knows. How Rajnath Singh was chosen, nobody knows. How Nitin Gadkari, Mohan Bhagwat comes all through from the Nagpur, sits in Delhi, and he says these gang of fours will not become. So somebody from outside, Nitin Gadkari, is brought here, and overnight he becomes the party president. I wish if Mohan Bhagwat had at least organized some kind of farce democratic elections where Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, Venkaiah Naidu, Anant Kumar and Nitin Gadkari would have contested, and then the verdict would have been out that who is the most popular person whom the BJP delegates wanted to be the president. No, but that did not happen. So I will not blame Tom Vadakkan, because now he's a part of the BJP.
Ashutosh,
Mr. Vadakkan, 20 seconds and I'll get in Neeraja Chaudhary.
And I will request my party to make you an observer next time there's an election, so that, you have a closer look and understanding of what the BJP works. And you'll be shocked the kind of democracy that exists in the BJP. I'm sure you will come as an observer, and because it's important that you understand the way the system works. And if you are free, please do join us sometime and spend some time with us. We'll tell you how elections are held. What is democracy all about? But this, and you said that you have to work hard to get telephone numbers. Mr. Kharge gets all the telephone numbers, and this gentleman is given no numbers, no addresses, and whom does he call? This is not a national election where you can go and get the telephone numbers. You're mixing it up. These are all ready-made, rigged telephone numbers. People are not even members. Some of them are all non-entities, and those are the numbers you need to find out. He's not given those numbers. So please, Ashutosh, something that you don't know, you join the Congress and find out more. Or join the BJP. You can't sit at the border and say, well, that party practices democracy and this party doesn't. Please join the game, You were with us. That's why you left. Now the
Ashutosh, you have two offers this evening. You have two offers this evening. Mr. Vadakkan says, come join the BJP, or if you don't want to go, join the Congress.
I can only say that Ambedkar is a nice person, but has spoken to his ala kaman that he's appointing me as an observer. He should better ask and take the permission. Because I know what kind of democracy in the BJP is. They are the only two person who control democracy.
Neeraj Chaudhary coming here, essentially, what Mr. Vadakkan and the BJP... Mr. Vadakkan, give me a minute. I'm going to get Neeraj Chaudhary in as well. Let her have a word as well. Neeraj Chaudhary, essentially what the BJP is saying and what critics are saying, and essentially also if you hear what Mr. Tharoor has said, the spirit of what he's saying is that these elections are rigged. So what is this inner-party democracy we are talking about when the entire system is working to get one guy elected, and we all know who that guy is, and we all know that the guy has the blessings of at least Sonia Gandhi, if not Rahul Gandhi.
Look, you've talked about BJP versus Congress, and Congress having elections. The BJP has not had elections that we know of, and many other parties have not had elections. So what the Congress is doing, a very welcome step. You were absolutely right when you said the party people wanted an election. They're getting it. They didn't want Gandhi family to stand. Gandhi family is not standing. And there is a contest taking place between two people or three people. So given that, but the question you asked is very different. That Shashi Tharoor feels is aggrieved that it's not an even playing field, that it's all in one direction. Now, in any contest, anybody has the right to vote anyway or to campaign for whoever they want. And this would include the Gandhi family. The problem has arisen because Sonia Gandhi has said there is no official candidate. We are going to be neutral. And Shashi Tharoor is saying that it is not, they're not being neutral because senior leaders are going to Mr. Kharge to campaign and they're not coming to him. Now, one of the things that's mystified me, that the G23 to which Mr. Shashi Tharoor belonged did not support him. And it made me wonder why, because he was part of that group. At least some of them should have stood by his side. Why did this not happen? Did he not consult them in advance? Did he not take their views, whether he should stand or who would be the best candidate? Mr. Kharge, on the other hand, certainly met the High Command, has probably talked to other senior leaders, and including members of the G23 who are now batting for him. So in that sense, he has a wider level of support. Apart from the High Command, I also feel that the High Command is quietly backing him and he is likely to win. But what Shashi Tharoor may actually do is to put up a good fight. And that itself is a big thing to happen in the Congress because he is reaching out to communities, younger people, professional, urban youth, middle class, who may not be the Congress's natural constituency or has left it, even if they are not delegates. His fight is really mobilizing public opinion for the Congress party and for himself at a wider level. So that is also a role that he is playing during the process of these elections and its campaign. So let's see, if I was Mr. Kharge, I would make Shashi Tharoor my vice president. You fought against me, come on board, and we will do things together. That is if he loses.
That will be interesting. Lokesh Jindal, Well, we know which way this election is going, don't we, Mr. Jindal? Can that happen? I wonder if that's a possibility.
First of
Because
all,
it was
both are
fairly brave of
respected
Mr.
leaders.
Shashi Tharoor to go in and, yeah. Okay.
Both are respected leaders, and right
Go
on
ahead.
the day one, when Shashi Tharoorji filed nomination along with 5 nominees, he clearly stated that it is both of them are contesting elections for strengthening the party. It's not some form of a rivalry between them, but it is a election contest. He came out with his own plan. He has explained his plan, what he aims at, how he aims at reforming the party. He is aiming at reaching out to as many congressmen as possible, to the party workers, to the PCCs, and that is how he's campaigning. So he has come out with a model, and with that model, he's trying to reach out with the party workers, and that is very, very healthy, I would say. And Kharge Sahab already is enjoying a huge support, and he has been the leader of opposition also. So I would say that he's a respectable politician, and he, for some congressmen, he is the favorite. So let us say, let us see what will be the outcome.
Neeraja presents us. Okay. Before I end, Ashutosh, Neeraja has presented us with a delicious possibility. Could Shashi Tharoor be made the vice president? Because, I mean, come to think of it, no bitter words have been exchanged. Yes, he's unhappy with the way things are going. He's saying, it's tilted all in Mr. Kharge's favor, etc. But it's not unpleasant. So is that a possibility, or do you think someone like a Sachin Pilot will be pulled in? Because Rajasthan ki bhi dal kahan kya ho raha hai uska no one really understands.
So I think it's difficult to say, but unfortunately in Indian politics that normally doesn't happen. Because you look at the American democracy, when Hillary Clinton contests again, when she loses, she becomes the Secretary of State. So there are precedents, like within the Democratic Party, the lady, I'm forgetting her name, she became a vice president. She was contesting into the primaries and to the Biden, and she lost. So unfortunately in Indian democracy, that is not a possibility. Here, even in the parliament, the leader opposition post is not given. So unless you have the Indian democracy needs to evolve. Indian democratic leaders who are democratic leaders per se, but are they democratic in their heart? That has to be understood. Because Indian democracy, all the political parties, all the leaders, in my opinion, they are basically still feudal in the mindset. Take any political party, any regional political party. Why the son succeeds his father, and then another son succeeds? Like take the example of Shiv Sena, take the example of National Congress, take the example of PDP, take the example of Samajwadi Party. And so, will you call it democratic? I will not call it democratic. But that's how the Indian democracy is all about.
We'll leave it there for the moment. Thanks for this interesting chat. I'm going to thank all my guests for joining us this evening. Neeraja Chaudhary, Lokesh Jindal, Tom Vadakan and Ashutosh, thank you very much indeed. We are moving on to our second debate this evening.